I think we're all really excited for that. All right, looks like we're live. Everyone, welcome to Happy Friday. First, today we're going Black Hat. Today's high-level how-to is not going to be for the faint of heart. We're talking about building ReviewGate campaigns. And so first, let's talk about what that is and why it's quote-unquote Black Hat or whatever. So what we're talking about is creating a system where after somebody has an appointment or an experience with one of our clients, we want to automatically go out to them with messaging that says, hey, how was your experience? Was it good or was it bad? If they select bad, we want to mitigate that feedback, right? We want to keep it internal so that they don't go to Yelp or TripAdvisor or wherever and leave a bad review. So we want to immediately go back and be like, oh, we're so sorry to hear that. We're going to call us, we'll call you, whatever you want to do, however your client wants to handle that. If they say good, then we automatically want to send them back the link to go leave us a review, right? So it's super powerful because the business starts generating a bunch of good reviews and not a bunch of bad reviews. But I do have to throw out the disclaimer that I think Google and Yelp, I think, are the two that have vocally said, this is not good. You should not do this. We will, put you in timeout if we find out you're doing it. Now, I don't know how they police this, how they would find out, or if they did, what the actual repercussions would be. Maybe somebody in the group can share if they've had a bad experience. But I know that a lot of the reputation management softwares took this out of their functionality once Google came out and said they were against this. And that's why we don't have it built into high level, right? We have the check-in button where you can manually send a review request to somebody, but we didn't build this in as a natural part of the software to do review gating. That being said, there's certainly nothing stopping you from using high level to do it. And if you did want to do it, today is how we'll learn how to do it. So let me share my screen.
Can I just say I love that preface?
Hey, we gotta,
I'm not telling you to do it, but here's how to if you want to.
Build it at your own risk. I personally, I know the results of this are awesome if you set it up, but again, it supposedly comes with risks from Google and Yelp. So again, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. But if we were going to do it, this is what we're talking about. So basically, we want to piggyback off the back of an appointment reminder campaign, right? We know that an appointment happened. Now we want to automate something that goes out and says, hey, how was your experience, good or bad? And then we need a way to split that feedback and then trigger off of two different things. So basically, let's work backwards here. So let's start with the good follow-up. Let's assume somebody had a good experience. And so I'm going to hop into an account here and let's build a quick campaign and we'll call it good experience. And we'll add an email that says something like, we're so happy you had a good experience. Or how about a favor, or whatever kind of thing you want to get, put in there to get them to open it up. But basically the goal is, we're going to say something like, hi, Chase. We're so happy to hear you had a good experience. Your feedback means the world to us. Would you mind taking a quick minute to leave us a review on Google? And then I'd probably say something like positive reviews really help us grow. And then my favorite line, thanks in advance. And then whatever, right? So now we need to give them instructions on how to do that. So I'm just going to save this and we'll come back here. But basically we want to go to, we're going to grab the same link that you would use in the email and the SMS template here. Now, if you used when you created the sub account, if you use the Google Maps API, I believe there will be a button here where you can just generate the link right away. But because this is a dummy account, I don't have the capability to do that. So let's talk about a quick hack to quickly get the link that we're going to need. So if I go back up to my agency account and I go add an account, and on any snapshot, you should be able to do this. So I'm just going to click no more and then go to the setup guide. And in each of the setups guides, you should see this setting here, right, that walks you through getting this link set up. So basically, we need this link. And we're going to turn this, we're going to go put this, let me just open up in a new tab here so I can bounce back and forth. Let's go back to Dr. Bob's. Let's go into that campaign. Good experience in our email. And then we'd put something like, you know, click here to leave us a review. Let's turn this into a link. Okay, so now we need to get this. So to get this, we'll come back over here and we'll follow the instructions. So here's the link to the ID finder. Oh, shoot. I'll just copy and paste it. So let's copy this, open it up in a new tab. This will take us to Google, and now we search a business, right? So let's say I was doing this for, let's just find a dentist here. Dentist & Co. Okay, great. So here we go. We get their ID. We take this back. We replace that place here. And now, boom, if I test this link out, this should open straight up into the leave a review pane, right? Awesome. Very little friction. All you need to do is click 5 stars and leave their review. Okay, so we've got our link set up here. Great. We've got our positive review outreach message there. And of course, we would have to activate it, right? So let's go back to our mind map. And I'm just going to change the color on this to indicate that we've knocked it off. Okay, so next, we need a bad follow-up campaign. So let's go back to campaigns. Let's add a new one. We'll call this one bad experience. And we would again just throw in, and maybe these are text messages, you know, like we're sorry. We're sorry, whatever. We're sorry to hear your blah, 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 whatever you want to do. And then again, you do, hi, Chase. We're sorry you had a bad experience with us. Oops. And we want to remedy the situation immediately. And then here's where you put your instructions. What do you want them to do? Email us back and we'll take care of this. Or put in a number here. Please call us at your earliest convenience. You know, please call our owner, or whatever you want to do to mitigate the feedback, you put the instructions in here, right? So we'd hit save. Okay, great. Now we have our bad experience campaign set up as well. So let's cross this one off our list. Okay, great. This is the notification that's just going to be a part of this trigger. So we need to build 2 triggers, and we need to build 2 trigger links. So first we'll do our triggers. So let's go triggers here, and we're gonna let's make a folder we'll call this like review triggers. Okay, now we'll make a new basic rule. We'll do good experience. And I think I have to, but shoot, I need to make my trigger links. Is this gonna save? No, it's not. All right, so we gotta do our trigger links first. So let's go marketing, trigger links. And now we're gonna have to, I should have added a couple of steps. Basically, you're gonna have to link this somewhere, right? So you're gonna make 2 landing pages, one for good, one for bad, so that you have somewhere to send these when they click. But let's say good experience, and let's just say it was whatever, our site.com/good, right? So you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like you need a place to, the trigger link has to go somewhere. So you need to make 2 landing pages. And I should have put that into our mind map here, that these trigger links are going to take you to 2 pages. One that says, hey, we're super sorry, you're going to get an email in a second. And then same for the other one. So we've got good experience, bad experience. And again, this would be like /bad, save. Okay, so now we have our 2 trigger links and we can make our triggers. So we're gonna make our good experience trigger. And we're gonna say, okay, when somebody clicks our good experience trigger link is good experience. We want to add them into, add them into our good experience campaign, right? That one's pretty simple. Somebody says, yeah, I had a good experience. Go ahead, add them. Then they're going to get the follow-up, says, we're so happy to hear that. Please leave us a review. Okay, so we would save that. And then we would go back and we would make our bad experience trigger. And again, it's going to be trigger link is clicked. And we're going to specify that it's the bad experience one. And now over here, we wanted to do a couple of things. So we want to add them to the bad experience campaign. Right? And then we probably also want to fire off a notification to somebody. So I'm going to say, like, I would probably be sending an SMS to the owner, right? So like red alert, bad review from, and then grab their details, right? So grab their info. So somebody should get alerted right away that, hey, somebody did not have a good experience. We need to follow up on this. So that trigger is going to do those 2 things. Again, of course, we would have to activate our triggers, right? So now we have this all set up. Now we need to build our outreach campaign. So let's go back to campaigns. And we're going to call this one, I should have made a folder to keep this organized. So let's call this review, outreach or whatnot. And this is going to be our review, our feedback outreach campaign. Okay, and now here we're going to add an email or a text, right? And again, I would probably use something like stripo.email until we roll out our nice email builder to build something with 2 buttons, right? So like good or bad, but we're just going to hack this together real quick. So we would say something like, hi, Chase, or thanks for, you know, coming to see us yesterday, whatever you want to put here. We'd love to know how your experience was with us. And then again, ideally I'd have 2 buttons here, but, for our purposes, I would say something like, it was great, or it could have been better. Maybe you put it was bad, whatever. So let's say maybe we want to make it more like binary. And then we're going to turn these into our trigger links, right? So like it was great. And now we're going to come up here and click link. And now we can choose our trigger link of good experience. Okay. And now we can turn this one into our bad experience. Okay, so now we have triggers waiting for these, right? If somebody clicks it was great, they're going to go off to the good experience follow-up. If they click it was bad, they're going to go off to the bad experience follow-up. Shoot. How was your visit? Okay, and of course we would have to activate that. And then the last step would be just figuring out how we want this to piggyback. So there's a couple of different ways you could do this, but basically I'm just going to have them flow from this one to the next. So let's go. We're assuming that we have an appointment reminders campaign built, right? So this is set up to a day before their appointment go out, 2 hours before their appointment go out. And so what I would probably do is just something like this. I'll just add a wait step to wait 1 day. Okay, so this is going to go out 2 hours after this one that went out 2 hours before their appointment. So that, or sorry, this one's going out 2 hours before their appointment. So we know it's the day of their appointment. So if we set a wait step for 1 day, we know that we're now in the day after, and now they're going to flow out of this. And if we set next campaign to be, where's our campaign here? Feedback outreach. Save. Okay, great. So they're going to have their appointment. It's going to wait 1 day. They're going to flow out of the bottom of this. They're going to flow into their feedback outreach one, and then the whole thing unfolds from there, right? So then it's the choose your own adventure. Was it good or bad? Depending on what happens, boom. Now we're going to be generating a bunch of good reviews, right? Because again, it's insane to me. Reputation management is awesome, right? This is such an easy, scalable service. It requires nothing of effort once you set it up, but it has such a huge impact. Most businesses do nothing to follow up with their customers. And if you just put something like this into place, you're going to see a steady growth of their reviews, especially if you're gating the bad ones, right? Because you're giving somebody an opportunity to vent, and maybe you want to mess with the timing, right? Maybe you want this to go out like right after their, now let's talk about that. It might be smarter if the stakes are high to just put the outreach as the last email here. So I could just do, you know, like an hour after, or let's say 3 hours after this one would put me an hour after their appointment. So that if it was bad and it, you know, it's possible that this person could be fuming, they get it right away. They have the opportunity to vent, and they don't feel like they have to go to Google or Yelp or TripAdvisor or one of these places to make themselves heard. So in my opinion, you know, it is good. A day is probably too long to wait. I probably should have done it more like to decrease the timing. So maybe we could just change this to minutes or something like that. But I'll leave that up to you to set the timing however you want. The point is, give people an opportunity to vent if they're pissed, because it's the people that are pissed that leave reviews. And definitely have something in place for the people that had a good opportunity who wouldn't have taken the time. But if you put something in front of them that says, hey, your feedback means a ton to us, you know, would you mind taking a minute? Thank you in advance. These are things that are going to make it way more likely that they actually do take the time to leave a good review. So that's it. That's how you create a review gate. Again, disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Google does not want you to do that, nor does Yelp. I don't know what the penalties are if you were caught doing it. I was hoping somebody would throw something in the comments like my cousin's uncle's boyfriend did it and got caught, and here's what happened. But I don't know. Again, build them at your own risk. That's how you make review gates. Any questions?